Hello, folks. How's it going? If you're trying to play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic in 2026 or 2027, maybe you're trying to stream it, or you just want to have the best experience you can with the game on PC without a lot of modding, a lot of complicated tweaks, messing with configuration files and things like that, the easiest way to play KOTOR on a PC or a tablet is actually with the Android version, which you can easily play using something called the MuMu Player. So that's what I'm going to show you in this tutorial. MuMu Player is owned by NetEase, who develops a lot of games like Marvel Rivals, and they also developed Destiny Rising, the mobile game, which this is how I became aware of the MuMu Player. So MuMu Player is the official recommendation from the Destiny Rising team for people who wanted to play that looter shooter on their PC. And so it's really tailored to emulating games developed for mobile, but on like a big screen with powerful hardware. So it works really well. I streamed Knights of the Old Republic in its entirety on Twitch and had a really good experience. Skip this, forget the Steam version, in my opinion. It hasn't been updated in years, maybe a couple decades. It takes a lot of work to get Knights of the Old Republic running well on modern hardware, especially if you want a nice widescreen resolution or you want to stream it. It's just not as good as the sequel. Obsidian has done a much better job of keeping the sequel updated versus BioWare's original. If you play BioWare's original on Switch or Xbox, those are pretty good, but on PC, I recommend the MuMu Player. So if you Google MuMu Player or go to mumuplayer.com, I'll post the download link obviously down below. You got a few options here. You have the Mac OS, Windows ARM, Android and iOS incoming. But of course, you want the Windows download here. It says it was last updated on July 21st. So there's a very new version. And I've already gone and downloaded that, but you just click it. It'll download it, navigate over to your download folder here, double click on your exe file, say yes. Maybe you have to run it in administrator, depending on the way your PC is set up. Go ahead and hit install, about 1 gigabyte for the emulator, and it runs pretty well. It has its own in-app store, like the MuMu store, but ignore that and you can go right into Android's Google Play Store or Google Play Games. Okay, and this is what the main device emulator looks like. It might open a second tab with some random games that they're trying to sell you or freebies. What you want to do is just keep this first tab open and you go to Gadget, Play Store, and this is where you will log into your personal Google account that you use for probably your email, probably for YouTube, and certainly for Android games. Okay, and once you're logged into Google Play, you want to go to Search and type in Star Wars KOTOR. Okay, KOTOR 2 came up first, but KOTOR 1 is like the second actual search result. Aspyr Media, Star Wars KOTOR. It'll say $9.99 if you don't own it already. I do own it, so I can just click on this and it should, it knows that I own it. So now it says install, but once it's installed, you can actually choose to have just a Star Wars KOTOR shortcut on your desktop, so you don't really have to fuss with any MuMu Player stuff again from here on out. You should just be able to double click on Star Wars KOTOR on your desktop every time and go straight into the game. It does have like sort of tablet style controls, but it also has really good controller support. Both kind of take a little bit of getting used to, but it's a much better experience than the Steam version or the GOG version, I'm sure, just because the game hasn't been updated in years. BioWare hasn't patched it for modern widescreen displays or for controller support. If you're streaming KOTOR, it's good for being able to like tab in and out and look at your OBS or anything you got to do. I found this to be much better. It'll do this verifying download thing the first time, you hit OK, and it's going to throw you straight into Knights of the Old Republic. You can play it in full screen. You can play it with the mouse. You can play with the keyboard and the mouse. You can play it using your favorite controller, probably most controllers. And it looks pretty much like the game that you remember As you can see, you go right into creating your character, and there you go. You're off and running, customizing, and there you have it. I think that is the best way to play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic from 2003 on modern PCs. I've tinkered around with a lot of these classic RPGs since getting this PC about 3 or 4 years ago, and I really enjoy the Android version of KOTOR. Aspyr did a great job on it. I wrote the boss fight books nonfiction entry on Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic that came out about 7 years ago. So I've interviewed a lot of the devs who worked on this game and put together kind of a story of the making of a very classic, very beloved, very important Star Wars adventure, and some characters who mean a lot to people to this day, including me. If you've never played this game, I think this is a great first way to experience it, especially if you don't play a lot of games on the Nintendo Switch or Xbox. If you're mostly a PC gamer, this is probably the way to go. Thanks.